Morning, and it is another lovely morning. Typical, innit? Do you know, if we was all working, all of us working, that is, and we all had important places to go, and it was outside, it'd be hammering it down. But now everybody's locked up. Glorious sunshine. What would you wouldn't credit, would you? Okay, well. Good morning. Quick coffee. I just finished my breakfast. Probably not the best thing to do. Bit of bacon stuck back there. Got it. Right, so today I'm going to tell you about one of my friends who is out there working hard, as she works in one of the stores that sell food, and I just want to tell you about this young lady. Quite a clever young lady. I like her. Hold it, this ain't work. Well, this young lady is a huge Harry Potter fan, and she's also an associate of our MCC. So she asked me if I would paint her leather cup for her. So I'm just preparing it now, so that I don't get paint on any areas that I don't want paint. So, quick recap what I've done here. What I've done is I've stretched the leather out, the area that I'm going to paint, and I've stapled it to a nice flat piece of wood to stretch it. Now, the reason I use stapled is because I can send them through the stitch holes, and it won't damage the leather, and I can stretch it out speedily with no messing. Just kind of like you do a canvas, really. And the reason I want to stretch it is I want the pores to be open to soak up the paint that I'm going to use to put on it. Now, I spent some time on a photo editing suite, and I've come up with this. Seeing she's a biker, and yeah, so I added about half a dozen pictures together, mucked about with them, cut them and pasted them, stretched them, and this is the image that I come up with. And this image is going to sit right about there. Yeah? See that? Make sense? Raise it over a bit. There we go. Yeah, that image is going to sit about there. On her leather cup. What do you think? Yeah? But in order to put that on her leather cup, I need to prepare her leather cup. So, as I said, right now using old bits of paper, because you know, even though I've printed on them, they'll get a second use. I don't need the images anymore. These are all the images I printed off for the track, to give me some ideas on what I was going to put on the mud guards and stuff, and any paintable areas. So yeah, so of course now that I've done that, surplus to requirements, waste paper. So rather than wasting the waste paper, as it were, and use it to mask off the rest of the area. On this jacket, so that I don't get dribs and dribbles and dabs and whatever paint on the rest of the lovely jacket. Now usually as a group we like to do things like the Dam Busters rally or things like that, and even though they're quite a way in the future, they've already been they've already said that due to current events and whatever, they don't think it's a good idea to be carrying on. The other thing we do as a group is the Ride to the Wall, which is the memorial wall. To fighting men and women of the services, and something else we like to do that's been shall we say postponed for the time being because of recent events. And I know it's a shame and everything else, but the one that has really got to me this year is the Easter run, the Easter egg run, and it brought it home to me that even if we were to still collect all the Easter eggs and have them delivered somewhere, it means that people have got take time out to organise and sort these things. It puts people at risk. They're going into hospitals and refuges and stuff and giving these things away, putting people at risk, especially vulnerable people in hospitals obviously, and yeah, it means that a lot of children aren't going to get any sweet surprises this year. Well, not for Easter anyway. And that kind of struck me because it's something as a group we love to do. It's something I love to do. It's something even when I'm not riding, I haven't had a vehicle on the road, I've always gone up there with a big fistful of eggs. It's the same with the toy run that we do in the winter, and I'm hoping that all this is done and dusted by then, because the toy run, that's another big thing we do for children. And any of the biker fraternity that have got children that do these things really understand that, you know, for some of these kids that's all they're getting. But hey, I digress. So I've got my area I want to paint. Now I tend to mix up a base paint, something to key to some like an undercoat, and in order to do this undercoat, what I'm going to do is to keep things in proportion and everything. I'm going to take a black and white print out of what I've done, and I'm going to use it as a template. Well, that didn't work very well, did it, Jeffrey? No, it didn't, Jeffrey. Right, so what I need is something to lean on. I'm not too fussed with. I've actually got cutting boards and all sorts of things in the house, but in order to do that, I need to run the racket down and get them. And that means either stopping the video or underwear one. There you are. I'm cutting that. Right. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this black and white version of what I want as my basis. Now I'm cutting inside the actual picture because my picture is going to be bigger than the actual image I'm going to paint, but as the colour is going to hang off the end of the undercoat, as it were, it means that it will give it a more 3D look when it's painted, because you know the edges will be fading out, as it were. Even though because to give it, when you're painting anything, especially onto a dark colour like black, you find that your colours come out dull, and they're going to come out dull because obviously the colour behind is a dark colour. So in order to sort of combat that, what I'm going to do is give it an undercoat of a light colour, and that will help me to make the colours pop when it comes to putting the colours on the actual well, when I come to paint it properly. It just means that the colours that will be covered by the white will pop. They'll be brighter. Now it's very rough. It's not, there he is. I just cut the feather out. And as you can see, I've left a bit of it. Yeah. So yeah. And this is going to be my template for the area that I'm going to paint. Let's get rid of you and the back there. Right, okay, so this is where I'm going to be putting my little fella. There he is, look. That's where it's going to sit. Yeah. And this bit is just going to be temporary on here. So I don't have to stick lots of tape for this fella. I just need enough to hold it in place. Like this. And there we go. And now I'm ready to mix up some paint. Ready to go on to give me my undercoat. So let's grab me my highly expensive palette. A splash of the old acrylic. Oh yeah. Now a trick I found with painting leather was told to me by a dear old friend years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago. And he said to me, "Don't ever let go of the secret. Can make money off this secret." Well, to be quite honest, I'm a sharer. Can't help myself. I just am. And he's not in the painting game anymore. He actually blows glass out in Jersey. So it's not going to be any skin off his nose now. So what I do is I add my varnish, my elasticated varnish, to the paint at this stage. And I can tell you now, it's like painting with a muddy ball on the end of your brush, but it means that it gives the overall paint effect longevity. So much longevity, in fact, that something that my friend painted for me, for my wife, unicorn on the back of her leather jacket. It's my old leather jacket, to the truth. One year I had nothing to, there's a story, yeah, one year I'm living in a bed set, I've got no money, and very few possessions to my name, but I had some knowledge, and the knowledge was that I knew people that were cleverer than me at the time, and I knew that my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, was in love with my leather jacket because she never had it off her back since she found it in my wardrobe, well, in my coat cupboard. So she'd fallen in love with my leather jacket. I can understand that. Good girls love a bad boy. So so I decided on a whim that I would ask a friend of mine if he would do me a favour and paint it for me. which he did. And when he was painting it, he told me his secret of how he keeps the paint from cracking on leather. Well, obviously, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take your word for it, mate. Thank you very much. Can you just paint this? And I remember back in the day, it cost me a couple of packs of smoke for him to do it. He did a fantastic job. And nearly 30 years later, it's still as fresh as the day he painted it. So that goes to show the longevity of this stuff. I'm sorry I'm milling about, but I'm looking for my sponge. And there she is, my sponge. Because I'm going to be dabbing. I'm going to dab in the area and making a good base for this. So all I'm doing, and by dabbing, what I'm doing is mimicking, believe it or not, the leather. I can't think what the word is. It will come to me. Oh, what is the word? Anyway, so there I was, no money, very little in the way of possessions, a girlfriend's birthday coming up, didn't have a clue what to do, and then I thought, she really loves that jacket, I love that jacket, but it's on her back more than it is mine, because at the time I was wearing my denim cut more than I was wearing the leather jacket, because I didn't have a bike. So I got it painted for her, and I got it painted with this unicorn on the back, because it's what she was into at the time. She loved the unicorns and that, so I got it painted. She's still got it to this day. She still wears it. She still wears it on the back of the trike when we go out. I think that thing's going to outlive us both, to be quite honest. And it was all down to my friend who showed me the technique of mixing varnish with the paint that you're going to put on the... So there we go, there's my initial get it into that crease. But what it also does is it kind of waterproofs the leather, because once this is done there won't be anything getting into this, promise you that. Now my leather that I subsequently decided, well, my mate can paint on leather, I can have a go, so I did. And later on, when my confidence had grown enough, and when I say when, there was about 7 years between when he painted mine for her, or when he painted my wife's jacket, and when I picked up a brush and painted my own. And my jacket was, when did I do it? 1998, so that's 24 years old. And I've worked under cars in it. It's the first thing that hits the floor whenever I'm out and there's no seats. It's the first thing that goes on the floor and we sit on that. As I said, I've had it on my back when I've been working under cars. I've thrown it on the floor when I'm working on my trike. It gets thrown in corners. It's been battered, and yet the painting on the back, I wouldn't say as fresh, but almost as fresh as the day I painted it. I mean, obviously it's going to have a couple more blemishes on it because of the way I've treated it compared to the way my wife treats hers. But yeah, and it's all down to a friend of mine who's a master glass blower in Jersey. Thanks for the tip, bud. Still using it today. And there you go. We have a start. Well, that's my lot for the minute. It's going to take about 20 hours for that to dry and set properly before I can put any paint on it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye now. I would say bye now, but I can't seem to turn it off with these gloves on. Be good to each other. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Just leave it pretty open. Love you all. Bye bye.